Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of MAGA Headline News. My name is Mike, and today we have a couple of stories to get into. Yesterday was pretty eventful. Um, James O'Keefe, big hit job on Pam Bondi. For what reason? I have no idea. And we also recently have a new pope or new woke pope, as some are saying. So we want to get into these this morning, and we're going to talk about Pam Bondi first and James O'Keefe. What I think I'm going to do is I just want to preface this with the reporting done by James O'Keefe over the last week, where about 8 days ago, he went dark and he came out and he told us, "Hey, I got something big. I got something big." Now, James O'Keefe is known for big stories. Okay. I've always paid attention to him. He broke the Acorn case with Barack Obama cheating in the elections a while back. He exposed Act Blue for all the voter donation fraud it was doing. He's gotten numerous deep state operatives on tape um, talking about, I mean, some of the absolute worst things that they're doing in our government. I mean, betrayal of the president through the military and you name it. I mean, he has gotten these people on tape and he's good at it. But why would he want to put out something like this and tarnish his reputation? And that is really a mystery to me because I think he was better off doing nothing and just, are you trying to stay in the media or what's going on? But you're better off doing nothing. Okay. So let's go on to, I'm going to pull up here James O'Keefe's X. Okay. And here it is here. Now, this was April 30th. Okay. He came out with this here and it sounded so serious. And, he was all worried and everything else. Okay. So listen to this.
I'm going dark. I'm not suicidal. Pray for me. This one scares me, guys.
So dramatic. Okay. Go watch this again. How dramatic. Look, watch.
I'm going dark. I'm not suicidal. Pray for me. This one scares me, guys.
Okay, so because of the level of stories that we're used to seeing from him, I was excited. He says he's going dark, he's scared. We waited 7 days wondering what is going on with this guy. If he's worried, he must have something on somebody. So he goes dark. You don't get anything out of his X or anywhere for I don't know 7 days. Then all of a sudden you get this here, okay? And this came up May 5th. How many days later? Okay. This was the day before he released part of the story. All right. So let me put this on here.
They can't suicide us all.
Okay. So this was like a little teaser the day before the story. Okay. He's got his guy crying. And if you look real quick, all right, in there's a picture of Pam Bondi as okay, and some Pfizer stuff and Epstine. Watch it again. Just try to see what's flashing. Okay. Pam Bondi there.
They can't suicide us all.
They can't suicide us all. So this guy's talking as if people are going to get killed or something if he does this story or whatever. Okay. So now he's got everybody really hyped up because he's flashing pictures of Pam Bondi. All right. So the next day, this is what we get. And it was part of the story. I guess now it's going to come out in parts. So here's what we got the next day. And this is right here. This guy's name is John Bryant, and he is an advisor to Prince Andrew, the royal family. Okay. Now we all know the history. If you don't, Prince Andrew was accused of, being buddy with Epstein, and Virginia that just passed. All right. She accused him of, SA. with her when she was 17 years old. Now, there was a lawsuit. It was settled for like tens of millions of dollars, and it was like, disclosed privately. You couldn't, we didn't know the details of it. All right. Prince Andrew always denied it. Now, this guy apparently was Prince Andrew's friend who ended up in a relationship with Prince Andrew's ex-wife. And then apparently he raised Prince Andrew's kids. Okay. This is like crazy. All right. But listen to what this guy says, because now James O'Keefe got this guy on tape. All right. So check this out.
He was in the Navy. He was 250 days at sea. He never thought of it. I was really pissed because he lied to me. Epstine. And then I did a big thing in the Daily Mail saying that I believed Andrew. And then I found out he was lying. I was so pissed. No, he was underage girl.
John Bryan has been a close confidant to the British royal family for a long time. He worked for Queen Elizabeth II, was, quote, best friends with Princess Diana, and had a long-term intimate relationship with the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson. According to Bryan, he practically raised Sarah Ferguson's children, the princesses Beatrice and Eugene. And Bryan said that he maintained a friendship with Ferguson's husband, the Duke of York, Prince Andrew.
Listen, before I get into this, I want you guys, a lot of people do know what this is, all right? But for those that don't, this is how they get these people. It's called a honeypot, all right? And this is how a lot of people get trapped into this stuff. They usually use it on guys, okay? Whether they're gay or straight. And what they do is they set these guys up on dates with, a girl maybe out of their league or something. The girl shows interest. They get them out to dinner or whatever. The guy's trying to impress her. And, they got a hidden camera on them, or they end up back at a hotel, whatever it is. But the girl gets the information out of them. It's called a honeypot trap. And that's how they're getting a lot of these guys, especially, James O'Keefe. They're like the masters of the honeypot. So here we go.
Your story. So my story, you want to know my story? What? Like, I've been so famous at times when I was on the front page of every newspaper, because I was working with the Queen of England.
Okay.
She's Queen Elizabeth. I was working along families, Princess Diana, my best friend. And I met Duchess of York.
Okay.
That's Prince Andrew's wife. They were separated. And then Sarah and I sort of fell in love. And we lived together for like 7 years in my house in England. And I raised her 2 little children.
Wait, her
Beatrice and Eugenie. Those were my children. Those were my kids. I raised those kids. Day to day raised.
This guy's got to be so embarrassed right now with this coming out, saying all this stuff.
I was father to those.
Prince Andrew's connection to Jeffrey Epstein emerged in 2010, when photos showed them walking together in New York's Central Park. Epstein had already been convicted in 2008 of procuring a 14-year-old girl for prostitution. In 2014, a woman named Virginia Giuffre alleged in a Florida court filing that Jeffrey Epstein paid her to have sex with Prince Andrew when she was 17, a minor. On April 25th, a few weeks ago, Giuffre died by, quote, suicide. Prince Andrew denied Giuffre's sex abuse allegations in a now infamous 2019 BBC interview.
She said she had sex with you 3 times, once on his private island in a group of 7 or 8 other girls.
No.
No to all of it.
All of it.
This guy should have stayed off camera, because that body language, I mean, that's worse than a little child. You can see right through it.
Absolutely no to all of it.
The interview was a public relations disaster for the royal family and prompted the Queen to strip Prince Andrew of his royal duties. In the aftermath of that interview, the prince sought advice from a longtime royal family confidant, John Bryan.
Grayson Murphy, not friends with Prince Andrew.
Oh, very good. Oh, no, we're very civilized. We go up to dinner. property, like 10 acres, right near Central Bay, right? You know, nobody has 10 acres. I'm on the biggest property, beautiful house. I rent it so that we have privacy, right? Because there's paparazzi everywhere. There's hundreds of paparazzi, not 10, not 20, hundreds. I know.
And this is already when Prince Andrew.
Yes, Prince Andrew.
His own thing.
Yeah, he's on the. He was in the Navy. He was 250 days at sea. He never saw his family.
2 weeks after Prince Andrew's BBC interview, John Bryan was brought to the Royal Lodge, where Prince Andrew lives, to offer crisis management advice. According to The Telegraph, the meeting was conducted discreetly. At the royal residence, Bryan observed that Prince Andrew was visibly distressed and struggling to focus, reportedly unable to concentrate for more than 40 minutes at a time due to the strain he was under. As reported in the Daily Mail, John Bryan constructed a 5-page document emphasizing that Prince Andrew should publicly show empathy for Epstein's victims. Back in November 2022, Bryan publicly stated that he believed Prince Andrew was innocent of the claims made against him related to the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking scheme. Now, in our exclusive hidden camera undercover footage, John Bryan reveals for the first time that Prince Andrew did in fact have sex with underage girls.
Was he already even like
Of
involved
course,
with like
for other girls. I was so pissed about that. I was really pissed. I was really pissed because he lied to me about it.
lied about
Epstein. Yeah. No, I knew he saw him, but he lied to me that he was such a close friend. I was so. And then I did a big thing in the Daily Mail saying that I believed him, and then I found out he was lying. I was so pissed. No, that he was fucking underage girls.
Now, our newsroom has some concerns about where this investigation is headed and who may be implicated. But our only motivation in doing these stories is the public's right to know. And if this report and our subsequent reports shine a light into darkness and expose evil, then we are willing to take the risks. At the end of the day, child victims of Jeffrey Epstein need to be protected, and the people involved need to be held accountable.
Listen, this whole report is dog shit, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. Because let me put this back. Look, at the end of the day, James O'Keefe, this is all information we already knew about Prince Andrew. And we didn't need your friend to tell us that he found out about it and was pissed, because we heard it through the testimony and the word from the victim herself. And we could see right through Prince Andrew when he lied on camera. We could see that the Queen stripped him of his title. This guy saying he didn't know, but then he found out. He found out when the rest of the world found out. Why is this news? Why does James O'Keefe need to go into hiding? Who is he scared of? Because this is stuff we already knew. There was no reason for any of the hype surrounding that. Okay. And if he's saying that, oh, well, if someone was to ask him and he says, oh, well, I wasn't scared of that, I was scared of the Pam Bondi stuff. What are you scared of with Pam Bondi? That someone's going to do something to you in the Trump administration? This guy's supposed to be like on our side, a patriot. Okay. He's supposed to be working with us, not doing fake hit jobs. So then let me go back here. Okay. I'm going to go back to his page. And then this is what we got from him the next day. Where is it here? This is the Pam Bondi story the next day, because he said there was going to be two parts. So the next day, everybody, we were thinking, why was he throwing pictures of Pam Bondi in there? What was that all about? Okay. And then Alex Jones comes on, and Alex Jones said, well, James wouldn't tell me, but I contacted one of his sources that told me that, this was about Pam Bondi and Epstein, like as if she had something to do with it, covering it up. Okay. Alex Jones was so embarrassed. I believe at the end of this, I believe he took the videos down. Okay, so Okeefe has really put his whole reputation on the line, used all the trust everybody had for what? To destroy his own reputation. Because now I want you to hear this quick little 2-minute story on Pam Bondi. This was all the hype around Pam Bondi.
Yesterday, Attorney General of the United States Pam Bondi was at the White House and disclosed what she represented as brand new information in relation to Jeffrey Epstein, the existence of tens of thousands of videos featuring little children.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
Now, this is the first time an official has publicly acknowledged that videos of Epstein and his victims exist. What you may not know is just 9 days prior, the Attorney General had a very similar conversation with a total stranger in a restaurant.
Do you know when the Epstein files are going to get released?
We hope soon. The FBI has been.
Okay.
So-
Any dates?
Let me just stop this here. A total stranger. Is that what this guy's saying? That she's sitting down having lunch with a total stranger? So right there, that's just a blatant lie. Okay. And on top of that, it is illegal to film people from the politicians at her level in Washington secretly. That is against the law. Whether you agree with it or not, it's against the law.
No, you know what it is? There are tens and thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids. So they have to go through every one.
In the past, officials
For all we know, the person she's sitting with has a top security clearance. Okay. We don't even know who she's sitting with. So this is like, this whole report is I mean, it's just dog shit, but let's let him go on.
Officials have spoken about the, quote, mountain of evidence in the Epstein case, but they've never, previous to that moment, acknowledged on the existence of videos of, quote, little kids. Just a few days later, at 2 p.m. on May 1st, our reporter sent the AG's office the text of the recording. We asked why this detail had not been disclosed to the public, but was instead being told to a random stranger at a restaurant. The Attorney General used almost the exact same language as she did with the stranger in the restaurant, language that we shared with her press office.
There are tens and thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids. There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
Now, we hesitated to publish this story, but believe, like we
You should have hesitated. Okay. Because he's saying that they never acknowledged it before. Well, how about when the Epstein files, the first list of whatever was released, a couple days after that, Pam Bondi came on television at a press conference and said, listen, we got the rest of the stuff. It's terabytes. It's truckfuls of evidence. So why is this news that she has videos? It's absolute bullshit. Dog shit is what it is.
we did yesterday that the public has a right to know. And this one raises serious questions. On one hand, why did our country's highest law enforcement official share this information first, not with the American people, but with a self-described nanny at brunch? But more importantly, why was this information held back in the first place? Does this show that a government apparatus is still working behind the scenes to protect powerful people involved in the scandal? Based upon the response to our Epstein story yesterday, it's clear that the American people want answers, and they want accountability.
Okay, so let me just go back here, okay? Look, that whole story was absolute dog shit, okay? He should have spent this time working on something that would have made a difference, all right? I think the Trump administration, they are working on the Epstein stuff, all right? And I keep saying this, like, you know, there's people, he should be smart enough to understand that, you know, I know a lot of people don't understand the strategy to all this, okay? And I'm not perfect either at all. You know, I do understand a lot of it. I try to anyway. But I mean, to me, it's common sense to see that a lot of this stuff meshes together, that it's all being brought on us by one entity, the deep state, the Marxist globalists that are hitting us from every single angle. And when I mean every angle, okay, the Ukraine war has something to do with it. All right. The Pakistan India war, which I want to get into in another video, that's another proxy war being done for multiple reasons, not just distraction. Okay. You know, the border, the Epstein stuff. This is all being done, C-19, whatever. It's all being done by a group of people who we have to rid ourselves of in this country, which Donald Trump is working on doing. And there's multiple ways that these people have to go. Some are going to go in handcuffs. Some need to go by just simply getting voted out of office or fired. All right. So how do you do that? You have to mix one with the other. We only have one chance at this. It's all strategy. So what do we really want? Do we want to go crazy and say we want the Epstein stuff now, or do we want it to work out for us in the long run to where these people do not come back to harm our country, to where we have a government that's working for us again, and the people that need to be in prison are in prison? Does he need to use the Epstein stuff when it comes closer to the midterms? Because I do believe there's a lot of very powerful people on those tapes. So do you want to just start releasing them irresponsibly? Do you want to use them to our advantage to eventually have a country rid of these people? I would rather wait, because the bigger objective is to have a government that is working for the people without these evil criminals here. So, yes, I would rather wait. Do they need to investigate more? Do they, are they? There is so many reasons. And it's the same thing that goes back to the arrests. Everybody wants these arrests. You want to arrest? I want the arrest too. I keep saying it, right? But you can't do that right now. And it's so obvious. It's common sense. Right now, Trump can't even deport somebody without these federal judges getting in the way. So, like, it's all strategy with President Trump. All right. He needs to keep making move after move after move. And one of the goals of these moves, amongst others, is to get these judges and these people that are still in government to expose themselves, instead of them just waiting for, the best time for them, when it would be more effective for them to expose themselves. Let's make them pop out. You got to clean house before we could do any arrests. Or I will keep using this example. You could go pick up Hillary for her email scandal, for Uranium One, for Frazzlejet, whatever. Pick her up, perp walk her while the whole country's cheering. And it's going to last one day, because she's going to show up at her arraignment in front of Judge Bosberg or equivalent. And then we're going to say, wow, Trump should have waited. He should have cleaned out all this deep state first out of the government. So we have to be patient. We only have one chance at this. And people like James O'Keefe that are trying now, giving Trump this is just nonsense, piling on more crap for President Trump when he needs our support. All right. So that is my view on the Pam Bondi situation. We voted them in. Let's put some trust in them. They need, we can't just go attack them every time we see something we don't like, because we don't know why President Trump or Pam Bondi is doing something. They get classified information. They get the real intel. So just because he's doing something we don't like, you don't know what he knows, what he's been told, what intelligence he's been told. They may have to do things for reasons unknown to us. That's why we elected him. Let's let him work. He's proven he's a very effective leader. So let's let him do his job. All right. James O'Keefe, you're an idiot. Okay. I hope you see this someday. You're an idiot for that. You had a good reputation. You should have kept it clean. And that was just stupid what you did to Pam Bondi. All right. Now, real quick, I want to get into just quickly this new Pope. All right. I'm just, I may do some other videos on it. So I just want to do some, a little short on my take on what's going on here before the dust is even settled. let me bring up this this here with the Pope. So Laura Loomer, and I'm just bringing her up as an example, okay, of many people that are talking. Okay, Laura Loomer is saying, meet the new American Pope. Of course, he's anti-MAGA and woke. Another open borders Pope, and it has some tweets that this guy has said in the past. And look, we've never had an American Pope before, to my knowledge. And, like we were told, there are no coincidences. All right. There's a reason, in my opinion, that we got this Pope. And I'm just going to throw out some food for thought, because I don't want to just accuse anything. I just, let's let the dust settle, but just some food for thought. These are the gears, the wheels that are turning in my mind right now when I'm thinking about what's going on. The Pope is an American. How many deep state clearance, security clearances has President Trump taken away? Hundreds. All these people that are involved with the globalists, the deep state, including Kamala Harris, Biden, Hillary, they're all stripped. They can't get that information anymore that they use against him. When they say 51 ex-intelligence agents say that Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian information, whatever, they can't do that anymore because he's taking all of their intel away. All of a sudden, a Pope from America, a woke Pope, gets put in as the new Pope. Okay, woke, whatever, cardinal, whatever he was. All right. Now, listen, I was raised Catholic. I do not feel bad about talking negatively about the Pope, because the Pope is not Jesus. The Pope is not God. The Pope doesn't dictate what we believe and what we don't. Okay. He is the head of a country now. And that's what scares me, is did the deep state just have one of their operatives put into the head of state at the Vatican, who has an intelligence services of their own? What does the Vatican know? We know the Vatican is very powerful. So, for all we know, all that power of the deep state could have been transferred right to Vatican City. And, that's just things that I'm keeping my ears open and eyes open for. Until we see more out of this Pope, we can't really make any convictions of him. But we do know that he is, all about the open borders and all that stuff. And, I'm surprised maybe he doesn't have a blue hat on or blue hair. I don't know, but let's see what happens. Okay. We will keep an eye on him and do report from time to time when we see any new statements that he makes or where this is going. So, okay. Guys, that's it. I'm sorry I went a little bit long today, but I wanted to get that out there, my opinion on the Okeefe Bondi stuff and the Pope. So I may do another report tonight. There's so much stuff going on. You have the India-Pakistan stuff, that the dog fight that happened. You have just so much going on, new trade deals. It's almost like things are just so quick right now. Everything's moving at light speed. I mean, this is like stuff we never saw before, the way the information's coming at us and events are happening. So, guys, listen, like I said, keep supporting President Trump. He needs us, okay? The guy has basically given his life for us, his family's life. Everything, all as any freedom they did have, they no longer have anymore. They're basically trapped in the realms of higher up government. They don't have all that luxury they used to have. They are working for us, and they're under threat every single day. So they need our support. And that's about it for today, guys. I will see you either tonight or tomorrow. And my name is Mike, and this has been MAGA Headline News, guys. Have a good day.